So we are back to legs. It is, what day is it? Trained Tuesday. Tuesday was back. I took Wednesday, Thursday off. Now it's Friday. Friday, 1:45, 2 days off, fully recovered. It's been 9 days since last leg day, and every single leg day that I've done last couple weeks has been, or the last 2 times has been fantastic. So I'm hoping today is going to be another fantastic one, and I'm hoping to fully stack this machine out. 21 plates on this guy, so let's see if we can do the whole thing for about, I'm hoping I can do 8. So do a little bit of dynamic stretching, no static stretching before the workout, and do that after because it can weaken the muscle. Static is when you're fully holding a stretch, and dynamic is kind of like just moving through a stretch, not holding it, because that can weaken it, like I said before. So let's just get into it and a little bit of warm up, and then we'll start. So you don't have to start with the extension, but I definitely, over the last year or two, have been starting with it. I feel like it's I don't feel like I have a good sense that it's a good pre-exhaust, and it gets my, when I get to the top here, if I do this extension before, or I do it after a squat, it's not the same squeeze contraction feeling that I get. So I'd rather do a full squeezing motion, we'll call it, and then I'll move on to more of like a stretching, loading exercise, like a leg press or a squat. I mean, anything that's not a leg extension, pretty much. Leg extension is the only thing really that fully isolates the quad. I mean, nothing else is really like it. I would say 2 to 3 warm-ups before you do your heaviest set, or heaviest multiple sets, whatever kind of training style that you do. So I do 6 plates right now, and I'm gonna do probably 6 to 8, and then I'm gonna go up to 8 or 9. It's kind of like 2 sets in one for the first set. That's how I like to do it. So it's all the way under, and then it's pushing my toes forward and then up, and then I'm squeezing. Then I come back under, toes forward and then up. The first movement the pad does is forward, so I want to drive as much force forward, and then it curves up. I don't want to just think up right away, because then my hips will probably come up. So you want to lock your hips down by holding onto these handles, and you want to grab as low as you can. And almost the same feeling as a tricep pushdown, when you lock your tricep against your lat. It's kind of that same feeling. That's good there. So I'm going to go up to probably 9 now. I'm counting this as the first set. I'm not really resting into it. Just going straight in. This is my kind of warm-up style, at least lately, for some exercises. Not all of them, but just some of them. Drive forward, then up. Boom. Tricep glued to lat. So on that last rep or two is when I got the sense that I was fully warmed up, and if I was to do any more reps with this weight, it would be just kind of not pointless, but not necessary. So I don't want to waste any extra energy than I need to. I want to use it all on that top set. At least that's kind of how I'm, processing these sets as I go through. I don't really want to burn my legs out. I don't want to get a burn on these sets prior, because then it's just fatiguing. It's mentally fatiguing too. So I'm going to jump to 14 plates now. It seems like big jumps, but I mean, I just did 1 set, and do 14 for a second set, and then I'll probably do 18 for a third set. So it's equal jumps. I'm doing the whole stack though, so if you're only doing 11, let's say, then you would take smaller jumps. Maybe you would start with 4, and then go 6, and then 8, like something like that. So, but I think the key thing is to make the jumps bigger in the beginning than at the end. So I wouldn't want to do 9 and then 12 and then 18. I'd rather go 9, 14, 18, like something like that. So they get smaller increments as I get in heavier weight. A couple minutes between each set. There's no burn. There's not really a big pump in my legs right now. I just want to regroup and then slowly kind of amp myself up for that heaviest set. So I'm not fully amped right now. A little bit more on the chill side. This next set will be a little bit more. Then the final set is where I play that fire song, you know? That thing that kind of makes you want to like jump from building to building. I mean, that type of thing, type of invincible mindset. So, which is still Chords to Change by Sia. I don't know what it is. I haven't played it much, but it definitely triggers that, you know, that all out, nothing else matters type of training mindset. So, whatever works for you, that's what works for me. So, and as I go through the sets, I'm upping the volume a little bit. So I played at 50% the first couple sets, and then I'll up it 2 or 3 notches for that final set. Because I think your body can even get adjusted to the volume, and it doesn't have the same impact. So be disciplined, try and restrict everything that helps you in that top set, and then I think it's going to really amplify it when you finally get to use it. Last set before the heavy set. Oh yeah, let's get it. Let's get it, come on. Let's do more. Yes. Wow, that was heavy. Holy shit. Yes. Now that took a lot, man. That takes a special, I can't even speak, a special spot in the mind to unlock. It's that fight or flight. Obviously, I'm not comparing it to like picking up a car off your kid. But, I mean, you want to get as close as you can to that state when you're doing like super low number of sets, because you got to make every single rep explosive, accelerated, and maximize it, I guess you'd call it. So that's it there. Amazing set there. 8 reps all the way to the bottom, pretty much to the top. That was as high as I can get it. I don't know, I'll have to look back and see. During the set, it felt like I got to the top, but I'm sure it was like a little bit shy just because that lockout's super tough, especially at that last rep or two. So done there. I'm gonna switch up the workout a little bit. I'm gonna save the lunges and hopefully a stiff leg deadlift for the end. I'm gonna do all the isolation stuff first. I don't think it matters too much. It's just something I wanna do. So I just explained a bunch of stuff, and of course, I didn't record it. But I guess I'll shorten it by just saying I am doing 7 plates, going to 12 plates, and now I'm up to 15. I'm using a little bit heavier weight than I did last time since I'm doing this exercise sooner, so I'm a little bit more fresh. But the simple concept is as many as I can do. Full reps, all out. Come on. That was a good set there. As many as I could do. 1 force rep, and then I did 2 negative. Took the negative for a ride, basically. So I knew it was done. Once I chest pressed it together, chest slide it, and I could barely hold it on the way back. So positive, static, negative, failure. Move on to the next exercise. So usually I would be doing this seated leg curl like later in the workout, but I want to do this now. And then I've been saying that I want to do the stiff leg deadlift, and I keep just not doing it for whatever reason. So I'm going to do it right after this to ensure that I do it, and then I can end with the lunges. I mean, I don't think any of us really want to go through pain, but we do if there is a reward at the end. If there's no reward, then nobody would be doing this. This would be torture. So let's do 10 plates. We'll feel it out. So I want this pad as closest to my knee as possible without it crushing my kneecap. I don't want it too high up here. Like if this seat was too far forward, this pad would be up here. And then my knee would be coming up and down. The point of this is to lock your knee down. So let's just see how it feels. So even that's too light for a warm-up, because I don't want to go up 5 plates for the next set. I want to go up a little bit and then only have to go up like 2 plates for the next set, because this is a warm-up. Just one warm-up. It's a feeler set. I'll do one more. So that's all I need to feel warm. Do more reps if you have to, but the idea is to do as minimal as you can. As minimal warm up as you can to get to the shit that actually matters, which is the close to or failure sets, or beyond failure, whatever you want to call that. 6 to 8 on this. That's kind of the range that I think it's gonna fall in. Oh yeah. Oh, oh, maybe slightly heavy, but it still got the job done. I think it was 5 or 6 good full shortening, good lengthening, or whatever, you know, on the top, bottom. And then I did like one more half at the end just to confirm that I can't get it down anymore. And then there's usually 2 things that I do at that point. I either will lean forward, which is lengthening the hamstring. So imagine like lean forward, now the pad can't really come up, and it helps me get it back down. So once I get it halfway, I would lean forward and try and curl it under me, and then I'll lean back, and then I'll attempt to hold it just for 1 negative, and then maybe like a partial or something just to annihilate it. But this time I just did like 5 to 8 partials, something like that. So couldn't move it at the end. Can't move it. Muscle was stimulated, which is the goal. So now I'm gonna move on to a stiff leg grab, which I have not done in a long time. I've been doing bent over rows, which is like a similar feeling movement, at least in the beginning. So I don't think it should feel that awkward, but let's see. So if you're wondering what bar this is, it's a blue Ohio power bar that I got probably in 2019. Haven't used it much, probably less than 50 times, I would say. So it's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's a little bit scratched up, but the knurling is still pretty sharp. So now if you keep your head up while you do this, then it's gonna keep your back arched, and you're gonna get more stretch in your hamstring, and you're not gonna be able to go down as far. Which it actually looks like, it looks more unsafe, but it actually feels safer to me because I don't have to go below my knees, which is kind of like that weird territory of being extremely bent over. So if I put my head down, it rounds my back and I actually get less stretch. I can go further, without a doubt, but I'm trying to train my hamstrings, not my ego or whatever. So keep my legs straight, go down to about knee level, and then come back up. This is definitely what I've seen Dorian Yates doing with some of his videos, or people that are training with him. This style of deadlift, Romanian deadlift, whatever you want to call it. But once I get to about right here, I start feeling pull, and right here, pretty much as much as I can go without rounding my back or pushing my hips back. So I'm just leaning directly over like that. So I don't want to, like once I get to here, I don't want to push my hips back. Just right from this position, I want to keep my back arched, and I'm just leaning forward. I think that's, at least for me, how I'm going to get maximum stretch in my hamstring without needing to go down to the goddamn ground. So it's just something to try. I'm just going to feel it out today see how it feels, and go from there. So none of this is set in stone. I think as a lifter, we know that our training is always evolving a little bit. You still have the main foundation most of the time of like how to train properly, but you can adjust certain things just to either confirm your thoughts on it or potentially change them if it is something that feels better. So just lock in right here. Pressure is in hips, knee, and feet. Lock back. All right, not bad. So I think the plan is to do 45 and a 25 and then 2 45s, I mean, something like that. And when it comes to rep ranges for a big movement like this, and one that you can get really out of breath fast, and your breathing can be the main factor in whether you stop the set or not, is the reason why I tend to like a little bit lower rep range. I mean, I'm moving super slow with this anyway, so even if I only get 5 or 6, somewhere around there, I mean 8 or less, it's a rep range that I kind of like, around 8 or a little bit less, closer to 6 for stiff leg deadlift. That's in full control. The key thing is that it's in full control. So, and I'm under the load for a long period of time. If I'm moving super slow, the set might take 45 seconds. So, if I do 20 reps with 135 pounds, but I'm moving twice as fast, I mean, what I'm basically saying is the speed of which you do the rep is a factor. It's not just like, oh, I did 10 reps and that guy did 10 reps. That means it's the same thing. His set might take half as long or twice as long. So, So that was a good set. I did 8 good ones. I haven't done this movement in a while, like I was saying, so but I'm happy with how it felt. Obviously, I was trying to focus on the stretch more than a squeeze. It's not really like you kind of drive your hips down to your heels as you come up, and you kind of rotate your pelvis this way, posteriorly. But the stretch is definitely where it's at on this. So, done on this. Just one more exercise. I'm not gonna do any abdominals today. So this is the last exercise. Just to the bar for a couple, feel it out. So you want your knee to go over your foot a little bit for more quad and less hamstring. But if you go too far under, then you'll have to compensate by leaning over, which is not what you want. And you want to stay upright as possible. That's 2. Holy shit. It's one leg down. Just one more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, that's a wrap. Done with quads, hamstrings.